There are lots of urban legends in Jerusalem. It has to do with the Golden Gate and the fact that it is closed. Why is it closed?
It was sealed in stone 5 centuries ago, not by time, but by fear. They said it would remain shut until the Messiah returns. But now, something's changed. Deep within the ancient walls of Jerusalem, the Golden Gate, once silenced by empires, has partially opened. And if prophecy is true, then this isn't just archaeology. It's the beginning of something divine. They call it the Golden Gate, but for centuries, it's been nothing more than stone and silence. Set in the eastern wall of Jerusalem's old city, the Golden Gate, also known as the Eastern Gate or the Gate of Mercy, faces the Mount of Olives and looks down upon the ancient Kidron Valley. It doesn't open to traffic, it doesn't welcome tourists, it doesn't even creak with the wind, because it's sealed, bricked shut, untouched, for over 480 years. But this isn't just any gate. This gate carries weight, spiritual weight. Both Jewish and Christian traditions believe that the Messiah will pass through this gate. For Christians, it is the place where Jesus entered Jerusalem before his crucifixion, fulfilling Zechariah's prophecy of a humble king riding on a donkey. For Jews, it is the entryway of the coming Redeemer who will restore Israel. And perhaps that's why, in 1541, Suleiman the Magnificent, ruler of the Ottoman Empire, ordered it sealed, stone by stone, not with ceremony, but with strategy. Some believe he feared the prophecies. Others say he wanted to block any Jewish hope for deliverance. To ensure no priest or messianic figure could walk through it, a Muslim cemetery was built directly in front of the gate, believing no holy man would cross the dead. But if prophecy was meant to be prevented, why does it seem like history keeps pushing back? Because now, for the first time in generations, the inner chambers of the gate, once buried in silence, have reportedly opened to worshippers. And whether by man or by miracle, this shift is awakening something ancient. Hold on a minute. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe, like, comment, and share videos of this channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. The gate wasn't just closed for protection, it was sealed with intention. In Ezekiel 44:2, an ancient prophecy whispers through time. This gate is to remain shut because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered through it. That statement alone changes everything. This was not the act of a king. It was a divine decree. According to many scholars, this prophecy points to the moment Jesus rode into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, crossing the Mount of Olives and entering through the Eastern Gate, fulfilling the vision laid out in Zechariah 9:9. But after that moment, something shifted. If the presence of the Lord entered through that gate, as Ezekiel wrote, then it was never meant to be opened again until he returns. And yet, Suleiman, unaware or defiant, did what prophecy had already foretold. He sealed it shut, believing he could stop what was written. But in doing so, he may have fulfilled it instead. Time and again, others have tried to undo what God may have ordained. In 1917, as Muslim leaders prepared to demolish the gate entirely, British forces unexpectedly took control of Jerusalem, halting the plan. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israeli leaders considered reopening it, but a respected rabbi warned them, "Only the Messiah may open that gate." History has tried to interfere, but something has resisted, like invisible hands holding the stones in place. And now, with the inner passage reportedly accessible for the first time in centuries, we are left to ask, was this man's decision, or has God allowed a door to crack as a sign? Jerusalem has many gates, Some have been destroyed, some rebuilt, others renamed and forgotten. But the Golden Gate, it doesn't behave like the rest. It has become a symbol of defiance, not against man, but against time itself. Every attempt to tamper with it seems to echo back with consequences, as if unseen forces are guarding what was sealed long ago. Even when peace treaties have been signed, the Eastern Gate remains untouched. Even when bulldozers have carved new paths, no stone of this gate has been removed. Even when the world changes, this gate stays the same. And perhaps that's why what's happening now is so alarming. In 2019, reports emerged that the inner chamber of the gate, the part hidden behind centuries of brick and silence, was quietly opened. Not to kings, not to generals, but to worshippers. Photos circulated. Videos leaked. Some showed people praying inside the once sealed vestibule. Others suggested ongoing renovations behind the walls. Authorities offered no clear explanation. But for prophecy watchers, this wasn't politics. It wasn't coincidence. It was a signal. Because Scripture says this gate was shut because God had entered through it. And if it's starting to open again, even from the inside, then the question that has lingered for generations becomes urgent. Is he coming back soon? Because a gate like this doesn't move on its own. And if it does, it means something or someone is approaching. The stones of Jerusalem have always spoken through scars, carvings, and ancient dust. But the Golden Gate speaks without ever opening its mouth. It speaks through its stillness, through its refusal to change, through the hands that have tried to move it and failed. There was a time when leaders believed they controlled history, that they could seal a gate, build a wall, or redraw borders, and in doing so, contain prophecy. But the Golden Gate has outlived them all. No other gate in the world has resisted change like this one. The Ottomans bricked it shut. The Crusaders once opened it, only for it to be sealed again. Muslim leaders tried to raise it. Israeli forces debated unlocking it. Each time, the story paused. Each time, the gate remained. And then came 2019, when the silence inside broke for the first time in centuries. The outer face remains sealed, still, strong, unmoving. But the inner side, behind the stones, was accessed, quietly, almost like a whisper. Those who entered didn't bring swords or scrolls. They brought prayers. What does it mean when the heart of the gate is opened, but its face remains sealed? Could it be a spiritual message, not yet visible to the world, but already awakening inside? If the gate itself is a clock, then the hands may have just shifted. Not striking midnight, not yet, but moving. And prophecy does not shout. It doesn't tweet or broadcast. It whispers. And this whisper came from the inside of a wall once thought untouchable. Directly across from the Golden Gate lies the Mount of Olives, a quiet slope, scattered with olive trees and ancient graves. But this mountain is more than geography. It's the stage. In Zechariah 14, it's written that when the Lord returns, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, and it will split in two. This isn't metaphor. This is location-specific prophecy, and the gate that faces it is no accident. The mount and the gate are perfectly aligned. One looks into the other like a mirror from eternity. It's not poetic, it's strategic, as if Jerusalem was built to prepare for one moment. In his first coming, Jesus approached from this very mountain. He rode down its slope, across the Kidron Valley, and entered the city, not through any of the southern or western gates, but this one, the one that was never meant to open again, until his return. That entry wasn't a parade, it was a prophetic signal. And now, with rumors of the gate's interior awakening and global attention shifting once again to Jerusalem's east. That alignment matters, because this gate does not face Rome. It does not face Mecca. It does not face Washington. It faces the place where his feet will stand. And if prophecy is true, if the geography matters, then this isn't just old stone. It's a door, one that was closed for a reason, and may be preparing to open for a purpose. What happens next isn't about politics, it's about timing, and only one figure is worthy to walk through that gate. 2 religions, 2 timelines, 1 gate. For Jews, the Golden Gate is where the long-awaited Messiah will enter to restore the kingdom of Israel, to reign in peace, and to bring justice to the nations. For Christians, it is the gate through which Jesus already entered, and the one he will enter again, not in humility, but in glory. What's astonishing is this. Both agree the gate is tied to a divine return. That kind of unity is rare, but this gate carries it. It's known in Hebrew tradition as Sha'ar Harachamim, the gate of mercy. Not wrath, not war, mercy. That alone suggests something beyond politics or empire. It hints at redemption. And while beliefs differ in form, they align in timing. Both traditions expect that the gate will open when the end of the age approaches, and that when it opens, everything changes. This shared expectation is what makes the recent activity so spiritually electric. The idea that the inner passage, once sealed, has been accessed, has sent ripples through both communities. Some say it's just a renovation. Others believe it's a foreshadowing. If you believe the gate opens with the Messiah, then a gate cracking open could mean he is closer than we think. And if both Jews and Christians are watching the same gate, waiting for the same event, then this isn't coincidence, it's convergence. Because whether you call him Messiah ben David or King of Kings, everyone agrees this gate will open when he comes. Throughout history, men have tried to control what God has declared. They have drawn borders with blood, rewritten laws with fear, and built barriers where prophecy said a king would walk. But every time they touched the Golden Gate, something pushed back. In the early 1900s, Muslim leaders under Ottoman rule planned to demolish the gate altogether. The orders were signed, the date was set, but on the very day it was to happen, Jerusalem fell to British forces. The plan vanished in the smoke of a power shift no one expected. Again, in 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israeli forces surged through the Old City. They had the tools, the authority, and the opportunity to unseal the gate, but they didn't. Why? A respected religious leader advised them, only the Messiah may open this gate. And so they stepped back. These weren't passive delays. These were moments of restraint, as if unseen hands were holding the door closed, waiting for a specific hour. Even the construction of the Muslim cemetery in front of the gate, designed to prevent a priestly figure from crossing, may have been a strategic human move. But if prophecy is true, it was also futile. Because when the king returns, no wall, grave, or empire will stand in his way. The world thinks it can pause prophecy, delay it, redirect it. But you cannot shut what God has sealed, and you cannot stop what he has set in motion. And now, the motion has begun again. Prophecy doesn't always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it moves in silence, in shadows, in the shifting of stone, beneath centuries of dust. And that's what makes the recent change in the Golden Gate so powerful. It wasn't loud. It wasn't announced on global news. There was no press conference, just a quiet opening. The gate remains sealed from the outside, as it has since 1541. But now the inner chamber, long closed to the public, has become accessible. No bulldozers, no explosions, just a door open from within. Is it coincidence, maintenance, a mistake, or is it something more? Because Jesus didn't say his return would come with clear schedules or press alerts. He said it would come like in the days of Noah, when people were distracted, unaware, living normally, until the rain began to fall. He said to watch, not wonder, to stay awake, not speculate, because when he returns, it won't be subtle. Every eye will see him. He will come with the clouds. The nations will mourn. But before the king arrives, there are signs, and some signs come in stillness, like a sealed gate, suddenly stirring, not broken, but breathing, not destroyed, but waking. The watchers of prophecy, the ones who don't need headlines to see the patterns, are now leaning in, because what's happening may not be the fulfillment itself, but it may be the whisper that comes just before the trumpet sounds. Some see the Golden Gate as a relic, others now see it as a countdown, a clock without numbers, marking time not with hours, but with fulfillments. This gate doesn't tick, it waits, and waiting is not inactivity, it is preparation. Every attempt to breach it, halted. Every plan to erase it, reversed. Every stone, laid, preserved. And now, something is moving. In the context of prophecy, nothing happens by accident. The partial opening of the inner chambers may seem like a small event, but so was a whisper to Ezekiel. So was a donkey walking through this gate 2,000 years ago. God rarely begins with explosions. He begins with alignment. And today, things are aligning. The Mount of Olives stands watch. The Temple Mount remains contested. Rumors of a third temple swirl louder each year. And now, the gate of prophecy is breathing again. For believers, this isn't fear. It's a signal, a reminder that Jesus said to be ready. He never gave a date. He gave signs. He said, "When you see these things begin to happen, lift up your heads, for your redemption is drawing near." This gate was never just about bricks and mortar. It's about timing, and the one whose arrival will change everything. And if this is the gate he will walk through, then every stone matters, every rumor matters, every movement matters, because if the countdown has begun, then we are not watching history, we're standing in it. For nearly 500 years, the Golden Gate stood silent, untouched, unbothered, and sealed. Not by time, but by something deeper, by prophecy. And now, it's no longer silent. Whether it's a small opening or a signal of what's to come, one truth echoes louder than ever before. The gate is moving. Across the world, the signs are multiplying. Wars and rumors of wars, earth groaning with disaster. The spiritual lines between truth and deception, growing thin, and right at the heart of it all is Jerusalem, a city not chosen by politics, but by God himself. And in that city, a gate. And in that gate, a message that says, he has entered once, he will enter again. Not on a donkey, but as a king. And when that happens, no empire will be able to stop him. No army will stand against him. No wall will matter. No gate will remain shut. We are not watching coincidence. We are watching alignment. A moment that has been written in scripture and whispered through centuries is now being seen with human eyes. The Golden Gate is still sealed, but it's not sleeping. And the question now is not if it will open. The question is, will you be ready when it does?